Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Steph. This is my wife, Jay, and we represent StephJayINC. Thanks for tuning in. Please, if you like this video, share it, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I said that too fast. But let's get into the video. So, relationship boundaries, right? So, relationship boundaries in a relationship is very important. So, like, for instance, we, as far as a married couple, like, we have, boundaries, and one of the things, like, okay, so most people think like, oh, you have a list of you can't do this, can't do that, and you're trying to control him, you're trying to control her. No, boundaries aren't necessarily to control people. Actually, like, boundaries are to keep the relationship not going like off the road, right? Like, if a train that go on the tracks, it'll just drive into traffic and kill a whole bunch of people. I'm a truck driver, so I know a thing or two about boundaries. And if I don't drive that truck and stay in the lane, man, I lose my license, I kill a bunch of people. So boundaries in a relationship are just as important, so other people, including the person in a relationship, doesn't get hurt. So, like, let's talk about, like, our boundaries, babe. Like, okay. What is some of our boundaries?
What are some of our boundaries?
When it comes to, like, our relationship. Number one.
You know what? Slow. You can do number one.
You're slow. Number one. See?
So how many boundaries are we going to do?
I don't know.
Okay.
We just, like, we can just mention which one and elaborate on it. Okay, so she couldn't think of one. I don't have no boundaries there. I do what I want to do.
I'm trying to think. That's not true.
All pass. No. So one of our boundaries. I know. One of my boundaries, as far as being a man in a relationship, is like watching. Like, I don't put myself in a position to be compromised, like, with other females. Like, for instance, like, you will never catch me in the room in a closed door situation with another woman other than my wife. That just does not happen. You will probably never I'm not gonna say probably. Just look at her face. Did you see her face? You will never catch me and taking someone home late at night. You would never catch me taking another female home late at night. You will never catch me. Okay, I mentioned two, so now you go.
You will never catch me taking late at night. You will never catch me taking a female home at night. Period.
That's what I meant.
Like, at all.
Okay, you ain't turn down.
Unless, it's like, well, no, sometimes you really have to be careful because, people,
No.
don't have the right mindset.
That is true. Okay, go ahead. Another boundary.
Another boundary is having male friends.
Okay, that's a good one. You know what? And so I don't have any female friends. We don't have friends of the opposite sex. Now, like, so I have a friend. I'm not gonna say friend. I know someone that they grew up with people in their church. Like, we grew up with people in our church that are the opposite sex, and they were friends when we were young.
Right.
And we grew up with them. Friends of. No, your friends at your church weren't my friends.
Oh, you saying like that? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Like, people that in your church you grew up with, and people in my church I grew up with. But when we got married, those relationships started to deteriorate, and there was some boundaries within those relationships. Like, for instance, I don't talk to people that I grew up with that were considered female friends, that even family friends. No, like, and the reason being is that because it's like I want to protect my integrity. from anybody thinking, oh man, Steph, why are you calling me? You got married. Why are you calling me to talk to me? Ain't you supposed to be able to talk to your wife? And I think when guys do that, they calling old friends, they calling past, like, that's your job to have that friendship with your wife, where you and your wife are able to talk about anything and everything. And I know some guys who have like female friends. They say, this is my best friend. We grew up together.
I know guys like that too.
I'm not here to judge, but I don't get it, because when you marry someone, you're actually building a relationship with them, and that relationship is supposed to become more important than even your guy friends, even a relationship with your guy friends. So it's like, if you want your wife to be your best friend, and then you have another female of the opposite, or another person of the opposite sex, and you have this friendship, then how does the dynamic of that work? You know what I'm saying? I don't ask me. If you want to leave a comment, or you want to say something about it, I don't see how that dynamic works, because women tend to be jealous of another woman, especially if it's just your friend and y'all have this history, and you might say, well, it's only platonic, meaning, we're only friends. Nothing has ever happened. Or you might say, she's married, I'm married, so there's no way, anything can get crossed. But I'm the type of person that believes in, what the Bible says. And here it goes. So the Bible says, put no confidence in your flesh. And like all men, like women, at some point we do grow attachments to the opposite person of the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. And so those attachments can be considered dangerous, because if you and your wife are supposed to be best friends, and then you have another person, I keep saying wife, but you get what I'm saying. If you and someone else, if you're married to someone and that's supposed to be your best friend, and you're friends of the opposite sex with someone else, it's like it's gonna get what's called the word, it's gonna get sketchy at some point, because it's like, you tell your best, and let me I'll make it simple like this. A best friend, right? Let's think of the relationship with a best friend. A friend, you tell everything, right? The best friend, you tell almost everything when it comes to bed, your sex life, money, what else, babe? Family, everything. Problems,
work,
job. You tell them everything. So here is a person of the opposite sex that's your best friend that you're telling everything to. I don't get it. So I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, I agree as well.
She's about to say something crazy.
But I don't know. So I know some people who, but like the people that I do know have had some type of friction with their relationship because of a friendship from the past. So
no, I can put it like this. A woman, let's say you and your mom, like, let's say I was a mama's boy, okay? How would you feel if I'm telling my mama, like, my mama, my best friend, you telling your mama, I'm telling my mama, me and my wife, we do this, we do that in bed. Oh, son, like, how would that even...
I get it from that, yeah.
Now, mind you, going to someone else of the opposite sex that you're not even related to.
And that can make them curious.
That can make a person
curious. Like, okay, so yeah, that's a good point.
And not just that, but okay, just think of finances. Like, your best friend is supposed to, I would say a good best friend, everybody have hard times. So a good best friend is the type of person where you can go to say, you know what, man, like, I'm having, financially a hard time. Man, if you can bail me out, this one time, bro, like, I appreciate it. Imagine going to another woman or you going to another man, ask you to bail you out. And they like,
aren't you married?
Ain't you married? Like, what your dude doing? Like, ain't no way.
Or don't you got a man?
What's your man doing? You know, I mean, we cool, but we could be a lot better because I can take care of you. You know I got bread.
Obviously he can't if you coming to me, or she can because you coming to me. So you do have to think about that. Like why is, it's always going to be something in their minds that's like, no matter what, even if they say, oh, your wife is cool, but you going back to her and saying something, or you going back to him and saying, they're going to think, it's always going to be something in their mind like, something's not right there. So it's best if you can to communicate with each other, or if you have what do you call it? A partner, like a friend, a best close, well, even some women, like even if I had a woman friend, I can't go talk to them about my sex life, or you have to be careful about that as well, because you can't. So it's kind of hard. Sometimes you have to pray about it, or find somebody you can really trust to. You don't have to say certain things, but you can really trust to talk to and say, listen, I'm going through this. Can you help me out? And make sure they're in a relationship as well, because if they're not, then that's not good either.
Right.
So.
It's so are you saying that's one of our boundaries? Like not having...
It actually is really not a boundary. We never had that.
We never had that problem.
We never had that problem. So it's not a boundary because I don't have male friends. When I did work at the hospital, I had a lot of doctors and people like that, but they weren't my friends. They were just like, he works with around women, but we don't have, I would say we have couple friends, like married couple friends, like where not even just that, we do have friends that we went to church with when we first got married, and they are women and they are men, like, but none of them call Steph and be like, Steph, they'll call me. Or if they have any questions or anything, they text both of us. They don't, or if it's a surprise party, he knows, okay, I'm doing something for this. I can message them. I can send them. Right. We never really had that issue.
And also too, because we know how things can get misconstrued when you're communicating with the opposite person of the opposite sex. Like we have people that we call our sisters and brothers, like that we literally call our sisters and brothers. Now they're not related to us, but they're that close of friends that we call our sisters and brothers. But even in that, we have boundaries at certain things that, in our relationship, our business is our business,
Absolutely.
And our relationship, whatever we talk about stays between us two, unless we both agree, you know what, we should talk to this person about it, or we should talk to that person about it, or we should share. Other than that, no, we're not. I'm not calling somebody, hey, blah, blah, this, what do you think? If you were, and I don't understand how men do that anyway. They would call another woman and say, hey, if you were my wife and I got you this present, or if you were my wife, what kind of dress would you like? Or why would you even make that person curious of, oh, if I would, maybe I should. No. Right. You don't want to do that, Right. And, I think there are people who, think that like open relationships, I think, there's nothing wrong with having an open relationship. You can do this, do that. And then there's the idea of polygamy and monogamy. And some people think, we're not supposed to be monogamous because nature didn't create us that way. I'm not here to argue, scientific and all that type of stuff. Think about it this way, though. And this is the way I think, we teach our children. And not only we believe what the Bible says, that God created one man to his wife, and a wife to her husband. The reason being is because things can get really messy. And it's not only like protecting yourself, but you're protecting the other person. And I would not want to hurt involving other people. Like, let's say, for instance, you have an open relationship. Now you're involving other people into something that is supposed to be between just you and another person. And now you have more headaches, more heartbreaks, more gossip, more lies. Because the more people you tell a secret, the more chance it is of getting out, and then the more chance it is of hurting somebody. So if you keep things between the sacred bond of two people, even if you're starting a relationship, setting those boundaries right up front, you don't have to worry about those things later on. And it's just like, okay, we know where we stand. You know, you don't have to question whether or not, oh, you know, you want to see somebody else? You already you already know where I'm at with that. Do you want to see somebody else? I know. But that's just where we stand, you know, as far as our relationship is concerned. And early on when we started dating, you know, that was like a big thing for us, making sure that we understood what the boundaries were in our relationship. So that way you don't have to fix something that's already going off the rails. Like if you wait, you know, 2 or 3 years, oh man, you know, now it's a closed relationship. Now you're trying to fix, you know, something that's already off the rails, and it's probably too late. Sorry. Yeah, with that. With that said, hey, if you like this video, enjoy it, like, subscribe, leave a comment.